The lighting isn't great. Well, at any rate, good Saturday morning. It's Saturday, February 24th, and in the Celebrate Business Project 2024 community, every Saturday is Small Business Saturday. Sorry, I was adjusting the lighting. I guess it's okay. Welcome. It's David, and today is Saturday, February 24th, and in the Celebrate Business Project 24 community, every Saturday is Small Business Saturday. Why do I say that? Two people have asked me that question. One was from the SBA, Small Business Administration, who I had a conversation with 2 weeks ago to share with him what the project was, what we were trying to accomplish, and hopefully get SBA involvement from whatever market we're in. There's 387 markets that we want to visit. I hope we get to a lot of them. Well, if I went to one market a week, it would take me it'd take me 9 years to hit all 387 if I did it one market a week. It was in January 1st, 2008. I introduced my book, How You Answer These 749 Questions About Your Small Business. I wrote the book, edited the book, researched the book, and published the book. I didn't. A printer friend of mine did. We worked it out together. The book was designed to be a workbook. I'd asked there are literally 749 questions in the book. I asked in 5 different chapters. I asked the questions and put them in 5 different chapters that related. The chapters all related to a single or dual, in some cases, concept. But I asked a question. I left some white space so that whoever was reading the book, small business owner, college student, high school student, elementary school student, all 4 of those classes read the book back then. But whoever decided they'd make a note, try to answer the question in their own perspective, because they are important questions. They really are important questions. I have been a small business owner actually, this is my 50th year exactly of being a small business owner. Before my 25th birthday, I bought a publication that my father had originally bought 7 years prior to that. At the time, my mother was the owner of the publication, and she asked me to to help her. No, not to help her to do it, because mom didn't. Dad had two small businesses, and mom didn't want to get involved in either one of them. So she didn't know a whole lot about publishing. And she didn't know, well, she knew a lot of the customers. She knew a lot of our readers. That was her fun in the publication. At any rate, I was inside 100 days of 1974. I said to my mother, Mom, I love being your son. It's really stressing me out to be your business partner. And Mom got this look on her face, but my grandfather, her father, overheard the conversation, looked me straight in the eye or I looked him straight in the eye. He commanded the power in the room. And he said, well, I don't want you to be stressed out, David. Why don't you just give your mother $10,000 and do whatever you want to do? I said, good solution. So that's how I got started. My general theme through all the years, anything that I've done, the hundreds of projects that I've done, is marketing and sales. I now call it marketing sales because in the last 15 years, I've tried to stress the importance of a very, very integrated mentality of marketing and sales. Too often folks say, well, there's marketing over here. I know I need it. There's marketing, there's sales over here. I have to have it. But I believe that they should be challenged as a integrated unit. So that's what I've been doing. And so even in my book, one of the chapters back in 2008 was on healthcare. And I don't even know, I got a couple hundred questions on healthcare at the time, because I was indeed at that time I was licensed to talk about insurance. So I spoke with as many small businesses as I could, not to sell anything, just how healthcare had to be weaved into a huge cost factor within any business. So that's what I did back then. And as I was looking at the book, I would have to totally eliminate that chapter and rewrite it to today's standards, which I'd really have to do a lot of research, because I have not kept up with it in the last, only top line, not gotten down into the much of the detail and the concepts. Although I and in a market my age where I get marketed to literally every single day of my life, I get a mailing piece from somebody who is trying to sell me supplemental health care to my Medicare policy. And I'm satisfied with what I have. So, but I'm interested. I learned. That's how I'm learning what's going on in the marketplace. And quite honestly, if we have the time, we should make the time. Subway Business Project 2024 ought to really put together a solid project concept of Medicare insurance for sure. I watch ads on television every day trying to sell Medicare insurance, and I really don't like the way it's being sold. Well, obviously I'm watching, they're trying to sell me, and I don't need. Well, I kind of listen to see if I really have what I think I have, but I just don't like the way they do it. Humana does a pretty good job uh, of it, but there's some other folks who I absolutely don't like the way they do it. So I want to try to maybe a good objective, not maybe a good objective would be, and I'm just thinking about it right now. So I don't know how real we can make it, but we'll try. Healthcare Celebrate Business Project 2024 will try to help make folks assist the folks in making the best decisions they possibly can for their healthcare. We all need it. It's often out of control. I still see a lot of things happening, and we need to work together to figure out what the best solution for providing reasonable health care is for us. To me, it's very important because I've had 3 different major issues in my life, major issues, major parts of my body, and obviously survived all 3 of them. But I have to monitor my system very closely. I get a blood drawn once a month. I've been doing that for almost 30 years now. So they can see if I'm taking the right amount of warfarin, which is an anticoagulant, commonly referred to as a blood thinner. It does indeed thin your blood. Gosh, I have some horror stories about that one. But, and this is a real kicker, true story, absolutely true. Next time you have an opportunity to pick up some rat poison, packaging of rat poison, look on the label and you will see that warfarin is an ingredient, is the ingredient. Actually, the application for folks like myself who needed it for the reasons that we need it came from testing lab rats. they saw what was happening. So somebody, I don't know if there's I don't know what the intent was. I've never really done a study, but they saw that it was a way to deal with a situation that I desperately needed to be dealt with. So back to the book. Let's get back to the book. In National Small Business Week 2008, 16 years ago, I passed my book out I don't want to mention who it is, because on Tuesday, I took to the post office a priority mailing package of materials proposing, I call them conceptual proposals, to the company that I pass out in their stores the book, because I was cleaning up, doing something, fixing it, and I found 2 boxes of the book. 2 boxes of the books, and I said, "Wow, this was 16 years ago, and now these boxes of books are collector's items. There can't be any more books in existence." I actually had 10,000 books that I printed back in 2008. I printed them in 2007. The first two boxes of books, literally, I passed out in the store. I found 16 years later, I found the last two boxes, and I've asked that company if I could pass the book out in the store on my 75th birthday, which is the third day of National Small Business Week this year. Doesn't always fall that way, but this year it does. Well, I have to think about that. Anyways, this year's birthday will be symbolic of me celebrating business for 75 years as a third generation small business owner. My grandfather had several businesses, small businesses. My father had several small businesses. I remember 3 in my lifetime. I have been doing what I'm doing for a long time. My sons are both outstanding marketers. I've watched them in their careers, and they both are doing extremely well. They're at the top of their game, each one of them, in what they are doing. And I wouldn't have the heart to ask them to get involved. Although I will have to say this. This is absolutely true story. The summer of 2007, my oldest son, Jordan, he was a second-year marketing student that year at The Ohio State. And that summer, he said to me, "Dad, you're not marketing yourself right. You're not branding yourself right. You're not advertising yourself right." I said, "Okay, what do I need to do to change?" I'm all open for suggestions. And because at that time I was doing a little bit differently than what I'm doing now. So we spent that summer, and Small Biz David was created that summer. I set up a company called Dreaming with Entrepreneurs, LLC, that year. I started writing my book. Started writing this book that summer, 100 Days. And also, it had to be somewhere in the fall that year that I started live streaming on the internet with Barbara Weltman with that yellow, there it is, that yellow, that one over there, Barbara and I have discussed that book, plus many, many other things, for the last 16 years. She does a new edition every year, so we talk about it. She is a small business tax authority, period. And we've been talking and sharing small business information with cyberspace for a long time now. And why was I talking about Barbara? Because Barbara's a good. Actually, I've been doing something for the last couple months, and it's worked out extremely well for me, and I hope it's working out for Barbara. Every day she writes. She calls it a blog. It's a blog, really, but it's graphic. There's graphic design to it. She has her book in it, but every day she shares a big idea for small business. Last year I told Barbara that I have archived. I've got every one that she's ever done. That, well, if I was awake, actually there's a couple of days I wasn't awake, so I missed them. But I have made a copy of her. I've archived it in my digital library, and I have 16 years times 355, 365 of those archived in my library. Extremely important. So back to the book. I found 2 boxes of book. I want to pass them out to a company. I sent a proposal to that company this week. It was inside of their company on early yesterday morning. I tracked it in the mail. It got inside of their offices, their headquarters. I'm not going to tell you where because that would tell you who, or you could put the pieces together. But it'll be a lot of fun, and I even have proposed to that company that we spend the entire month of May each Saturday in a different market with a specific objective for that market that I have done my research on. I spent almost 3 years, 2.5 years to research, to try to understand what the greatest impact would be of something that I knew had to be done for myself. And so that's I've been doing my research, and Celebrate Business Project 2024 is a result of all the research that I've done. The testing, I test everything that I do. Well, I test everything that I need to do for what it is the project objective to do. I work on it, make it work for me, fine tune it for me. Then I share what has worked for me with other folks. That's exactly what we want to do with the Celebrate Business Project 2024 and years after. I want to be involved. I want to be involved with the project for at least, when I say involved, I will be producing live streaming every Saturday. Should be Small Business Saturday until I can't do it anymore, at 10 o'clock in whatever time zone I happen to be in at that time. So I propose that we spend the month of May, the first month in May, the first week in May in Cincinnati, where I am because I know most about that market. Spend weeks 2 and 3 in Columbus. There are many Columbus. That retail market is, there are so many things happening in that market. It's exploding. It's always been a very good retail market. Matter of fact, many companies test their ideas in Columbus, and if they work, they roll out with them. Some of them say, as in Wendy's hamburgers were proudly started in Columbus, Ohio, and still remain. I have been in their offices in Dublin, Ohio. Columbus. At any rate, I have some specific things that I would like to, well, they're business things. They're ideas that I have done a conceptual proposal to work with this company to be challenged and meet the challenge of what was happening. So that the weeks 2 and 3 in Columbus, week 4, well, and if I was doing a really good job in Columbus, maybe my grandsons who live in Columbus could come to to one of the live streams that we're doing. I'm sure they would love to come. Max and Ari. Max is going to be 5 this year, and Ari is going to be 4 this year. And they would love to come. So that's in Columbus. Week 4 in Dallas. I had proposed, I had done a conceptual proposal for a company in Dallas, for Dallas. And the company apparently at the corporate level liked the idea because I was referred directly, I was copied to a Dallas something or other. I don't know what the individual's title was in Dallas. And that was, he never answered after corporate told him he should. Well, I was on a phone call with my son Sam in Dallas last Saturday. I was here, he was there. I made sure he had both hands on the wheel. And as he was driving, it just so happens he was driving by retailers in his drive to go where he was going. He was going by, and so the idea that I had proposed 6 months ago is even more pertinent today. Wow, it's always been pertinent, but I am convinced of it more today as I see what's going on. So I propose to do some things related to every Saturday is Small Business Saturday. We're related to our broadcast, our live stream. And I want, well, it just so happens in Dallas, my 3 granddaughters may come to one of the broadcasts, the live streams. Eloise is going, well, at that time, she'll still be 10 years old. At that time, wow, depending upon how it actually goes, Evelyn, she may be having her 9th birthday during that month. I'll have to look into that. That's another fun thing we could do. And Emery she'll be 5 in September. So my granddaughters could come and watch one of the live streams. How much fun would that be? That's what we propose. I have invited the Small Business Administration to be involved as much as they want to be when we're in those specific communities, markets. I would love to have the SBA share a program that they sponsor called SCORE. I've had involvements with SCORE over the years. The small business development centers that they have. I just learned something new yesterday about the small business development centers that I did not know about with a discussion I was having with a friend in New York City to see if we can live stream one Saturday, 2 Saturdays, any amount of Saturdays in New York. No, not any amount. It has to be limited. I have been to New York City. I could not tell you exactly how many times I've been. I lived in New York. Well, I lived in one of the boroughs for less than 100 days publishing, but returned to my hometown to continue publishing my father's publication. And we were talking yesterday because she has taken an interest in what I'm doing. She's a technology person. She's making a lot of technology suggestions for me as she watches how I operate. Actually, to that point, without telling me, she developed a website for the Celebrate Business Project 2024 without telling me, put it up, then showed me what she had done, and I smiled. I said, you did a great job, but there's things on there I can't have. So at any rate, in that discussion we were having yesterday, she taught me some new things that she is involved with the Small Business Development Council centers in New York City, while she's in Queens, one of the 5 boroughs. So lots of interesting, fun things happening with the project, and wanting to take the project to any of the 387 metropolitan statistical areas, MSAs. Let's see. So I can't talk. I did talk about that one. That was the proposal that went out and received yesterday. Then I spent the last 2 days creating a letter, a business letter that I want to send to folks wherever they are. They could be in any market. Sounds like we were under attack. I live in a small community. I think there's about 30,000 people that live here, and I live on a main street. It's a street. The city is totally surrounded by Cincinnati. I live right in the center of all that, and there's only one, the city where I live, Norwood, or one other one, someplace I don't know, that is totally surrounded by a larger city. And so I live on an east-west street in that area, and I've got 24/7 emergency vehicles going up and down the street. And my apartment is 4 feet from the curb, 4 feet from the street. Okay, so yesterday, well, I don't need to talk about this one. I shared with my new friend at the Small Business Administration what was happening, because I want to get Small Business Administration involvement in what we're doing. I'm looking for a sheet I thought I had, but I started to, I finished it. I'm editing it now. It will go out. The first copies will go out Monday. About some ideas. I saw a list in my market, Cincinnati. It had a list of 50 people, 50 names of people associated with 50 different companies. They were all being recognized for their excellence in what they do. And so I'm going to be sending a letter to each one of those individuals to share ideas on how the how the Celebrate Business Project 2024 are broadcast on Saturdays. How can we make it work for their companies? and we'll start that on Monday. We'll start mailing on Monday. They'll go out one at a time, two at a time, three at a time. It doesn't really matter. And that's the difference between the kind of marketing that I've been doing my entire life versus running something on the internet and having millions of people hopefully answering and coming and buying. And I've never been involved in that kind of activity. I have been blessed to be able to pick out the folks with whom I want to do business, want to do a project with, because I've tried and tested the ideas for myself to make them work for me. So let's now work together. Let's collaborate to make them work for you, with you. That's the future of business is, how many of these collaborative partnerships, interactions we can be involved in. Because if you have a collaboration with somebody, business will never end. It will always continue in some form, some fashion. That's what collaboration is. I think, wow. I want to try to remember if I've covered everything that I want to cover today. I've also talked about some things I hadn't planned on covering today. But we will, for sure, I will be in every Saturday. This Small Business Saturday will be live streamed from this location next Saturday. You've already heard how I would love to have a lot of fun spending Saturdays in Cincinnati, Columbus, and Dallas in the month of May for National Small Business Month. And I guess that's it. So we, by the way, anytime if I've said something that you want to question, if you have a question about the marketing and sales of your business, be you a solopreneur, a small business owner, an organization, I get questions from organizations about marketing and sales. I have a big program to take to an organization, as a matter of fact. A really big program. So that's where we are. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you next Saturday, which may very well be the best Saturday. See you then. YouTube audience, thank you for almost 40 minutes of your time today, and enjoy your day. And we'll see you the next time, which for you and for me may very well be the best time.